we rolling. Alright, so with that,
Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem, Rakah Kodash.
Give waters to our apostles and elders, very great millstone, peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. We're just going to dive into the topic of the church itself, right? Because we ourselves, we all make up the church, the body, building the house. That's what the scriptures talk about. So us as part of being that church, there's order and there's a way that we must conduct ourselves. And this is coming in the spirit because of what happened with the two camps. IUIC and ISUPK having a little physical altercation topic called whatever. And the point is that, they sparked the brothers to do response videos or whatever. And the reason why those videos go out and the reason why we just like they have them niggas right is because we represent the church and it's the church of Yahweh Shai. So we have to conduct ourselves in a certain manner because what happens is when something like that happens, two things happen. Well, it's really the will of the Lord. Okay, the reason why the Lord had the cameras rolling, that's the will of the Lord. Okay, whatever He wants to come out of is going to come out of. One thing for sure is that the one is giving sacrifice to fools, just like the guy that was recording Christian pastor. He doesn't actually care. He's just there for the drama. In fact, he said he saw it live and he knew it was going to tense up, so he sped down there to get there. So he enjoyed it all. Right? So guys like Vocab, instantly he jumped on it. And you're going to have the non-believers like saw that or all that, they're going to jump on it. And the scriptures talk about that, about not being scriptures talk about how we got to conduct ourselves amongst the believers. We basically got to walk like Yahweh Shai. Right? And we're going to get some accounts on that as well. But when Yahweh Shai was on the scene, people who hated him the most was his own people. They were looking for any and all faults to try to dismiss what he say or to try to justify locking him up. I mean anything. They were looking for anything to lock him up. It's kind of like how you got Esau when he's on the power trip. Like when he's on the power trip, he got pulled over. They looking for anything. I've seen videos of Edomites. They don't like them reporters or those journalists. I've seen them try to lock somebody up because they choose a cigarette ash around and say, oh, that's cool. Type of deal, right? That's how desperate they are. Because they did the same thing to Yahweh Shai. And Yahweh Shai, they had nothing on it. So we got to walk in his manner. Right?
Let's start at verse 1. It's 2 Corinthians chapter 6 verse 1. We then as workers together with him beseech you also that you receive not the grace of Yahweh in vain, for he saith, I have heard in a time accepted in the day of salvation have I succored thee. Behold, now is the accepted time. Behold, now is the day of salvation. Give no offense in anything that the ministry be not blamed.
Right, give no offense in anything that the ministry be not blamed. So that means if you're a believer, you're an Israelite. In this world full of wickedness, there's a lot of temptation. There's a lot of demons. So the scriptures teach us, that's why Paul talked about it the most, about how we as a church, how we got to conduct ourselves, especially out in the world. So when they say give offense to nothing, right, that the ministry not blamed, it's because you reflect the ministry. Even though you may be in the right, or whatever the case is, right? Okay, put it like this. There's times, plenty of times where there's people that want to make like videos with me in it, right? And I'll be like, no, I work the camera because I examine it. And I say, no, so this is out. It could look bad, it could cause suspicion. People who watch it could look at me and be like, why is he in there, such and such going on? So I consider ministry first, then I say, no, I'm not going to do it. For that aspect. Not saying that I can't do certain things, but I consider the truth first, right? Because all it takes is for somebody to try to link you into the ministry to bring an accusation. Because we know the devil is working. He's looking to bring an accusation against us, right? That's why not that long ago when the brothers found that video, not the video, their website, where Amalek got them jakes on there, And they even put like screenshots of what they may said online and Facebook and all that, talking about Amalek, and it'll be like 10 years ago, all that. Stuff like that you gotta be mindful because they'll use it as justification. Now you know you probably ain't wrong. You're like, well, fuck it, they the devil anyway. Fine, but you gotta look at the ministry. Going online on social media saying all that dumb stuff isn't gonna look well to the ministry because they're just gonna reflect it back on us. Now, it's just the same as Jake to go out and go to the gun range. There's not a problem with that. The problem is why do you upload it on the internet?
Yeah, and why are you infringing shoot on the internet? Okay? Like, why you got gun sounds in videos? You know, like, why are you marching it? Why are you basically pushing this formal militant type spirit, alright? And that's not what we about. The scripture says our weapons are not not carnal. Okay? We had that one guy in front of our house in Israel, I forgot his name, dark-skinned Big J. He was saying, yeah, we gotta tap into Esau's blessing. You know? Like, nah, man, we ain't tapping into shit. Like, you wanna do that on your own time, there's nothing wrong with that, but you not. Like these guys, they actually think that they gonna probably get out with Esau, like in the last days. And shit, they might. But guess what? You get slaughtered. Because Esau got weapons that you never even seen before. You know, like, did you Israelites forget that Esau's blessing is the sword? Alright?
And they'll say, well, we warriors. True, you can go get your license to carry out. Plenty of brothers got that, that's fine. It's why you putting it on the internet. Just like they'll say is, oh, y'all scared. That's what their response is. Oh, y'all scared. It's like, no, we're not scared. We're just applying the scriptures, and we understand how this devil operates because we represent the church. Because the first thing we got to say is, well, did Yahweh Shai condone that? Did he do that? And then, I mean, obviously, you're the ones that got to go into the gun range, go into camp with the AR, right, and the grenades and shit. So obviously somebody's afraid, and I don't think it's us. I don't think it's us. Right. And that's another reason why we don't coming out here with ARs and anything like that, because we don't want the people to think that's what it's about. But we know Jake would have sent a message to Esau. They don't mess with us. Right? Don't mess with us. But you gotta have faith in Yahweh Shai.
Yeah, I was gonna say this. Bringing sticks to camp and all this, making your weapons, corner weapons known is basically showing you don't have faith in the Lord on protection. Right? And what is that showing the nation of Israel? That you're supposed to have a backbone. That ain't how it works. That goes into, giving no offense, because when you give an offense, that's basically giving every single reason for these devils and for these Christians to mock and scoff, because that's what that word offense goes into, to be able to mock and scoff at us for what other Israelites are doing.
Right. At the end of the day, when they push that narrative, they're gonna lie their asses off, right? It's best to let them forge their lies. Because whenever Esau try to force a lie, it's evident. It's plain like, oh, y'all lying. But if they actually got footage of you or videos of you doing certain things, then that just helps build their case, right? Think of it like a courtroom. You don't give the opposing side, the prosecutor, what they need to convict them. You let them come up with some shit. And all you do is just stick with the truth. But if you have anything that they can stick, then it can be incriminated. It's a problem. Now, we're not saying that if Jake slip up out there, that, oh, it's the hell. No, it's a learning experience. Is Jake still carnal? Jake in the flesh? It's natural to want to fight. You got videos of Jake fight. Like, literally, Jake fight. And the question is, why was this uploaded? You know what I'm saying? We don't have to upload it. But things like that, because the devil's going to just try to say they're violent. They're violent. They're prone to violence. But if we come out and we say, no, we are as sheep, we're not carnal people, we gotta present ourselves that way. And like I said, you've been out here on this line, you're dealing with spirits, you're dealing with, and Jake, for the most part, the men up here are young men, right? Especially if you go look at the old camp, even of New York and Apostles and all that, ready to scrap right away. You know, simple. All it took was for one Jake to rebuttal and we like, hey, man, shut your mouth, you know, and it'll get to that level. And just like it was with the elders. But you know, eventually we mature, we know how to conduct ourselves, but we gotta keep it all under wraps, so to speak. You know, we gotta be mature about this.
Yeah, this is Matthew 10, chapter 10, starting at the 16th verse. It says, "Behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves."
Right? Sheep in the midst of wolves. Sheep is defenseless. Sheep in the midst of wolves. So the scripture tell you that we walk in the peril of our own. So we gotta operate accordingly. We gotta get a Clark Kent on. We was talking about that the other day. That Clark Kent, I'm about to take that away. So I done already had 2 Jakes. Hey man, I saw you. The second time I'm gonna come mad because I'm all like lying to Jake. Really, it's a pointless lie. They gonna find out. Whatever I do, especially a job, I assume I'm going to find out. It's one thing I hate, just like the Edomite boss the other day. Man, I'm so proud of you. You're doing so good. I don't like that. Don't praise me. Just keep it to yourself. I'd rather you just be a devil. Because it make me feel uncomfortable when they saying all those good things. It's just like, see, that's like so bad. Yeah, it's nice, man. And eventually they're going to find out, so just make it that much more awkward. I'd rather you just be a devil, just keep it to yourself. I don't like that. Say that. Keep it to yourself. I don't want to hear it, because find out, then it's going to be awkward. Damn, I just congratulated. Yeah. I mean, I know you can't help it, because the men of the Lord, at least the hopeful elect, the ones in the truth, we're, you know, like the best work. You know what I'm saying? So of course everybody gonna love us. I personally just don't like the flag. I'd rather just be a devil. You know, that's what I'd rather do.
Sometimes there are certain cases where they are being the devil because they're using psychology because they want to get more out of you. They see that you're diligent in your work, still they're trying to make you better more and trying to make Jake feel better so Jake can do more. You know?
True. That's why I keep my mind like just that simple.
That's how they get Jake, you know. They tell him all these good things. That's why I said the words in his mouth are smooth as butter, the words in his heart. Because hey, he'll tell you, oh, you doing a fabulous job, man. They even work the shit out you next day, man.
So you got go ahead.
This is Proverbs chapter 16 and verse 7. And it says, when a man's ways please Yahweh, he maketh even his enemies to be at peace with him. You know, so if you're doing what the Lord asks you to do, and you're doing everything that you need to do to please Yahweh Shai, it wouldn't be no need to be doing all that extra stuff in the truth, man. You know, if you got a sword, keep it to yourself. You go into the gun range, keep it to yourself. You know, you doing all these things and you posting it online, you blaming the ministry just about because when these damn devils come down with these accusations, man, guess what? They're gonna pull up those same videos that you posted online because it don't even matter if you delete it. It's still there in the database, man.
That's how they got us. One of them brothers they had, it said Facebook 10 years ago. So they obviously scrolled that far back and said, Twitter, Snapchat. That's all they needed. Y'all don't think the devil be searching this is the devil? And you on their platforms saying those things. Of course they're gonna keep track. The whole point of Facebook, Twitter, all that is to track. They have the TikTok now because the truth comes out of the truth. But yeah, now, are there gonna be times when you may have to get physical like him? Maybe there are demons out there. You gotta deal with people. You gotta be with people who we make it clear that's not our goal. You got to remember, Esau always sins in the plan, right? If he can't get what he can get out of you, he sends in a plant to draw it. You know, if he wants to run up on this block, but I just know they got some drugs, but we need an excuse. They'll send a black Jake, right, who got a gun or something. They'll just squeeze in. I seen it on video. He just squeezed in there, hanging around amongst them. And then the cops just walked up on him and walked straight to this Jake, thought he had a gun. And they was like, oh, see, there's justification. We got to check all y'all. They're like, we don't even know that guy. You know what I'm saying? And that's how Esau rolls. And that's why, you know, the cops started saying, like, look, we got spies in the camp. Okay? They did it with your house shot. Right? So, and I say, bring it. If anything, you're an idiot because you're going to get put to work. You're going to teach these scriptures. You're going to have to learn the Hebrew. And if it's found out the spirit ain't working with you, you're in the boot. But while you in there, Esau, you're going to be reporting to Esau, and all you're going to be able to report is brotherly love. Thinking about what are they planning. So he'll send infiltrators, he'll study you. Okay, they say Aqua, okay, they say Yahweh, okay, we got the fringes, we need you to go in there and see what's up. So they keep track, seeing if we plot any revolution, if we're trying to hoard up on weapons or bombs, stuff like that. That's what they're looking for. So if we just continue to operate in the spirit of Yahweh Shah in the order of the church, they got nothing on us. They got nothing. All right? Yahweh Shah was that perfect example.
Romans 8:6, and it reads,
Something you can just say.
for to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace. Because the carnal mind is enmity against Yahweh, for it is not subject to the law of Yahweh, neither indeed can be. So then they that are in the flesh cannot please Yahweh. But ye are not in the flesh, but in the spirit. And so be that the spirit of Yahweh dwell in you. Not if any man have not the spirit of Mashiach, he is none of his.
We're not to be carnally minded. Who's the number one carnally minded individual on the earth? Esau. So we operate differently. We study the scriptures and we say, okay, I see what I should do. I should do the truth.
This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, right? Ecclesiasticus 12 and 19. it says, an enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart but in his heart he imagined how to throw thee into a pit. He will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. If an adversary come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first, and though he pretend to help thee, yet shall he undermine thee. So just to land back on what this brother was saying, you know, you saw Edom, he'll pretend he's your friend, he'll talk to you nice, you know, he'll be with you, right? But all the meanwhile, he thinking, like the brother said, he thinking about how to overthrow you. You know, he planting shit, you know, making shit up, you know, producing a false narrative, you know, just like they did Yahweh shit, you know, Yahweh shot, you know. But even if he do get you, he's still not gonna be satisfied. You know, he wanna kill some more. You know, he wanna destroy some more, you know.
That's what we say about Okan, because he always comes sweet. He come up to the camp acting like he's sincere and all that. He'll do videos where he'll speak good about the camp, but he's the first one to capitalize on something that, just like the other day, he re-uploaded a video. I think back in 2017, it was from Jake. He got caught marrying a 16-year-old. But here it is, you got the Catholic and the Catholic priests and the Christian churches. Every day you hear about a story about how they got little boys as young as 5 years old getting molested and them motherfuckers pedophiles. But you don't hear him say nothing. So you see, he can talk all slick all he wants, but really he's like, no, I want y'all gone. Because that's what it all boils down to. He's saying, I want you guys gone. Right? So that's why we say, when he comes to your camp, he's not there to be your friend. He's not there to get the scriptures broken down to him. He's not there to convert. He's just there to, in hope, entice you to maybe get out of character and say something that they can use or put up this little presentation to present the Israelites as carnal radicals or whatever it is. So we got to stay in the scriptures. We got to stay in the spirit.
Brethren could not speak unto you as unto spiritual, but as unto carnal, even as unto babes in Hamashiach. I have fed you with milk, and not with meat. For hitherto ye were not able to bear it, neither yet now are ye able. For ye are yet carnal, whereas there is among you envying and strife and divisions. Are ye not carnal, and walk as men? For while one saith, I am Paul, and another saith, I am Apollos, or ye not carnal? Who then is Paul, and who is Apollos, but ministers by whom ye believe, even as the Lord gave to every man? I have planted Apollos waters, but Yahweh gave the increase. So then neither is he that planteth anything, neither he that watereth, but Yahweh that giveth the increase. Now he that planteth and he that watereth are one, and every man shall receive his own reward according to his own labor. For we are laborers together with Yahweh. Ye are Yahweh's husbandry. Ye are Yahweh's building.
Right? That's why the Lord referred to as vineyard, husbandry, and we're also a building. Because we're building the third temple. The third temple is spiritual. Somebody get that point? I believe it's first. I believe it's 1 Peter 2, 9, 5 and stuff.
First Peter 2 and 4.
We are a building, right? And if you know about the law, you know how to build a secular temple, we're very particular. You couldn't just have any old material in certain places. You couldn't just walk up in that joint unless you wanted to get smoked. Even the Levitical priests, they had to clean themselves, they had to wash them, all that other stuff. Right? So the Lord requires also of us as builders that we got to build a certain way. Right? And we're going to get reward for each of our own labors. But since we all make up that body and we all make up that building, we have a part to play in this. Right? We can't call ourselves Israelites, but then behind the scenes we get caught eating shellfish or pork and things like that, because then that puts the blame on the business. Now, you know Christians, they hypocrites. They have a horrible reputation. Especially with Islam, all of them have a horrible reputation. They breaking the law, all that. You get found out that the Christian pastor's a thief. He's committing adultery behind the scenes. All that's a joke, right? So that means that's not so to be, right, in this truth. Because those are big offenses. Calling yourself a teacher of the Lord, but you behind the scenes committing adultery. You behind the scenes extorting, stealing from your own people.
Yeah, that's what Hophni and Phinehas was doing. Eli's son. They was popping the women in the congregation, and they was taking their money, and they was taking Yahweh Shah's money. Okay, because when you read the law, a certain portion go to the priest, a certain portion go to Yahweh Shah. Alright,
They're taking the over portion. Here it is, they come to bring the meat to the sacrifice, and they'll take like a big chunk of it. I forgot how they did it. I can't remember exactly.
Yeah, it was like a fork with three prongs. But they got the meat out.
It was like, all right, and you still got to come up with the full, basically the full. They was like, well, just took it. They're like, we don't care. You still got, so they was basically getting greedy, right? The Lord didn't like that. He ultimately took them all out. So the Lord requires that you represent yourself in a certain way. Not saying you're not going to stumble or anything like that. That's why we got room for repentance. As long as we understand what part of the body and the church we represent, then we have to apply ourselves accordingly. We can't be like these hypocrites in this world. That's one of the joys I take, knowing that I'm not like one of these hypocrites. I'm not a part of something that's like the hypocritical Christian church. It's just known for being hypocrites. All your family members are an example of that. Christians. Christian this, Christian that, but they got portion to take. Eating whatever. We got so-called born-again virgins, which I don't know where the hell they get their breakdown. I really don't know where they even get that idea from. I'm born again. So
it used to be a show that came on VH1 called Born Again Version. And one like I forget her name, like with the light-skinned lady. You know what I'm talking about?
Because the scripture tell you, obviously it's spiritual, so it's not physical. He said it's not physical, it's spiritual. Okay, you can't reset that. Right? That's just more hypocrisy and excuse. Because the woman feel, oh, that's all I had to do. Well, hell, I could go be a whore again. If I slip up, I go run to the church, and now I'm clean again. That's a joke.
Her name is Danielle Nicolette. Yeah, I heard her. Danielle Nicolette.
It's a joke. That's a mockery. You know? It's more hypocrisy.
Yeah. She played in a few movies like in a few TV shows like The Game, and played in The Flash, Acrimony.
Go ahead. First Peter chapter 2 and verse 5. It says, he also as lively stones are built up in spiritual. Also as lively stones are built up a spiritual house, a holy priesthood, to offer us spiritual sacrifices acceptable to Yahweh by Yahweh Shah Mashiach.
So that's how you know the third temple is the spiritual temple. And our sacrifices are the spiritual sacrifices. And the scripture tell you that it's praise and also just teaching the word, burning souls or whatever, because that's acceptable before the Lord. And when you go deep, the Lord always, everything was always set up for the spiritual meaning. The Passover has a spiritual side to it. The tabernacle has a spiritual side to it. Levitical priest had the spiritual side to it, right? So now we understand that because of Yahushua's sacrifice. So the temple, yes, there was a physical temple. King Solomon did build one. The Lord did command him to. It was destroyed by the Babylonians, right? So then he said, I'm going to rebuild it. The dumb Edomites think that it's physical. That's why you got, I think, Donald Trump and all that. They started the third temple over in Israel or something like that. Okay, that's a joke. Right? Third temple is spiritual. We're all part of those stones. So we all have a part to play. And it also tells you that we all are part of the members of his body. Right? So you gotta look in the mirror, like Michael Jackson said. You gotta apply that change to yourself, right? And understand, like, okay, I want to make sure that I'm really walking according to what I was saying. That's why Paul talked about examine yourselves. He said, lest I also be a castaway. When I preach to others, I also be a castaway. Because when you preach to people about how what happened to this, that, this, and that's gonna lead you to destroy because this, that, this, it's the truth. But you gotta make sure you're not categorizing yourself with it. Right? So other than that, this is on yourself the same judgment pot. So you gotta make sure you evaluate yourself. Because that's what it really boils down to, what you were doing. Because the works of the next man can't save you. Right? You gotta have just like, well, at least one thing the churches are right on today. So you gotta have your own relationship with the Lord. That's true. You gotta have your own relationship because at the end of the day, when the judgment comes, that's between you and him. No other brother's gonna be there to vouch for you or nothing. So you gotta make sure you're doing what you're supposed to be doing as well. And it all resolves around repentance for one and having faith. You have those two, then you can, which is part of the build, then you can build and grow more and you'll be able to taste the meat.
This is the book of Ephesians chapter 4, verse 16. From whom the whole body fitly joined together and compacted by that which every joint supplieth, according to the effectual working in the measure of every part, maketh increase of the body unto edifying of itself in love. Basically, you know, every brother has a measure of faith in this, basically the spirit. Every brother has a measure in his body. Every brother has a role to play. Okay? Like the brother said, you cannot get saved off another man's faith or another man's works. Okay? You gotta work out what the Lord measured you with. Okay? And every brother has a benefit which goes hand in hand with scripture. You are lively stones. Okay? Every brother has a benefit within this truth, within this ministry. Because every brother can benefit off one another, which is part of the building of the third temple. Okay?
So you got to make sure, brother, I'm going to it. You got to make sure that what you bring in to the building is suitable. You don't want to bring no bullshit or no what you call it, untempered mortar to try to build the Lord's building. No. And does the brotherhood also account? Of course, because the Lord died for the brotherhood. That's why he said we're part of the body. We're all together. So the scripture talk about, you know, esteeming one another, helping each other up. So that's part of the body. That's part of doing your work as well. You know, alms and whatnot. That's what Yahushua did. Yahushua could have just went straight to the cross and said, "I'm telling y'all nothing." You know, he broke down, broke bread, he forgave the sinners. He lowered himself amongst us to teach us how to conduct ourselves with each other.
Wash the disciples' feet. Like, and even he said that, like, he that is greatest among you is your servant. You know, because if you want to be in a position of power, like you're saying from Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility. You know, as your servant is good. And you are like, the Lord always first his elected sheep. Now, if you are a shepherd, what are you doing? Like, it's your job to watch these sheep. You know, if one of them wander off, you got to go get them. Okay? You got to build a fence around them that takes time and money. You got to feed them. All right, you gotta cut the wool off. Okay, that's a damn job.
Like, you know, a lot of Jacob call themselves kings, you know, but don't realize that when you're a king, you are serving the people as well, man. You gotta do for the people as well, man. You just can't call yourself a king and just think you just gonna sit on the throne all day calling shots. No, you gotta actually help the people. Because Yahweh Shai is a king, guess what he do for us? He helps us, man. Okay? That's a true king, man.
Yeah, because a king is also a judge. You gotta judge matters according to the scriptures. Right? Yeah, so being your king like mine state, you gotta understand that it comes with responsibility. And we're gonna get that kingdom, we're gonna really get that power.
Matthew 23:11. But he that is greatest among you shall be your servant. Whosoever shall exalt himself shall be abased. He that shall humble himself shall be exalted. Verse 8. Now he that planteth and he that watereth are one, and every man shall receive his own reward according to his own labor. For we are laborers together with Yahweh. Ye are Yahweh's husbandry. Ye are Yahweh's building. According to the grace of Yahweh, which is given unto me as a wise master builder. I have laid the foundation, and another buildeth thereon. But let every man take heed how he buildeth thereon. For other foundation can no man lay than that is laid, which is Yahweh Shai HaMashiach.
You got to lay the foundation. Paul considered himself a wise master builder. So he contributed to the building. And the foundation that's laid is Yahweh Shai. That's the first thing that's gotta have the Lord, no matter what. So if you're dealing with the so-called Israelite group and don't acknowledge Yahweh Shai, you know that you shouldn't follow them. If they think they can go, you got some, they think they can go straight to the Father. It's disrespectful. You got some Israelite groups that think that worshiping Yahweh Shai is idolatry. How's that possible? How's that possible, right? You know, that's going on. You got this the Father.
Yeah, and Sakari, they not too far from going down that road. Because they think that we're gonna commit we're gonna do animal sacrifices in the kingdom. Like, how the hell do you do animal sacrifice in the kingdom? It's gonna be perfect. The whole purpose of animal sacrifices is for an atonement for your sin. So you're saying it's gonna be sin in the kingdom? So we gonna have to go back into slavery all over again, nigga? Okay, nah.
Either you having trouble with seeing your own people as perfect, or you have a problem with you don't see that the Heavenly Father can perfect us, or you just want to play a high priest. Well, guess what? You are over 2,000 years too late.
Yeah, because you know that the ultimate high priest is Yahweh Shai. Okay?
They don't accept that.
So like you gotta think about Yahweh Shai's sacrifice. He basically got on the altar himself and sacrificed himself. Okay, his own blood and shit.
Alright, you've seen it before. You heard of the Israelites? That's what we are. So, these are just signs that talk about the scripture, the things that pertain to the day of prophecy. Like that sign there that goes to the prophecy. Daniel had a vision of 4 kingdoms that was going to come. It was all prophesied that was going to happen. The gold of like 5 kingdoms. The gold was the Babylonians, and after that was the Medo-Persian Empire, then the Grecian, Roman Empire, and then today it was known as NATO and the EU. America's a part of it. That's all prophecy written in the scripture. You got a lot of people who say, oh, I ain't know that Bible is real. But little do they know we actually living in prophecy. And America is prophesied. This is known as Babylon the Great. Okay. Are you familiar with the Bible at all? Like you got it down? So, you're an Israelite. An Israelite, our job is to just, tell our people the truth of the matter, because all of our people, for the most part, claim they're Christians, but they don't really follow what the scripture says. They're basically hypocrites. So we're out here to teach them. If they have any questions, like if you have any questions, you always want to know what something meant, we can explain it.
Romans 10 and 2. For our brethren record that they have a zeal of Yahweh, but not according to knowledge.
The word Yahweh, that's what we get. Yahweh is Lord's true name. That's the problem. It's Hebrew, because the Old Testament was written in Hebrew. Right? Our Lord, when He set us up, He all spoke Hebrew. That was the Lord's language. So when it was translated, they feel like Lord or God. But the true Hebrew name was Yahweh. And His son's name, that's the next thing to you. His name is Yahweh Shai. God Jesus. They were so-called black men. God was a so-called black man named Yahweh. His son, Yahweh Shai, he also is a so-called black man. This is one of the greatest deceptions of heaven and earth. And these are the scriptures to prove it. It's right there in the Bible. But you see, they concealed that, because imagine if we grew up reading that everybody in the scriptures look like us. Our whole perspective of ourselves would change. He's too busy concerned about being a slave when really we the king. But yeah, our Lord is our big brother. He's coming to save us.
This is book of Proverbs, chapter 30 and verse 4. Who hath ascended up into heaven, or descended? Who hath gathered the wind in his fist? Who hath bound the waters in a garment? Who hath established all the ends of the earth? What is his name, and what is his son's name, if thou canst tell?
Right. What is his name? His son's name, if thou canst tell. Because a lot of people don't know. But his true name in the Hebrew, God, is Yahweh. And his son's name is Yahweh Shai. Yahweh means he is. Yahweh Shai means he is to save, and he is to deliver. The Lord was very peculiar when it came to names, because they had a meaning. Right? So, if there's anything you can take those names and, pray to the Lord and ask for forgiveness, ask for whatever it is you need to get by. And ultimately, you should look to just grow spiritually to come back to this, because there's no future for this place.
I got one more for you. Proverbs 18 and verse 10. The name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous runneth into it and is safe. So these upcoming times, that's all we're going to have is the name of the Lord to call on for our help. Because our enemies is, they planning day and night, man, how to take us out. And with the way the economy is going, with the catastrophe with the food, everything that's going on, that's all we're going to be able to do is call on the name of the Lord and hope for Him to have mercy on us and send us what we need in those times,
Right. The Lord prophesied a very hard times coming. Like, on this side of the world, we've never really seen, you can say, like war, famine. We've never really seen that. And the things we see in movies, how there's no food, or the food is rationed, you can only buy so much, or you can't, martial law, you can't go down this. All that we haven't actually seen it, but the Lord prophesied. So we believe that it's going to come to pass. And the Lord said, since I opened up your mind, be busy. 16. The Lord said, since I revealed it to you, I want you to go out and I want you to tell your people my message so that they can hear it too. But the message is, since the hard times are coming, you got to have faith in the Lord, have us protect us.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 33 and verse 6. It says, wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, instruct the salvation, the fear of Yahweh is his treasure. Right. And And what comes with that knowledge and wisdom and understanding comes with the name of the Lord. Okay, when you got the name of the Lord, you will know who to call on, who to pray to keep you stable in that day. That's as in the book of, have you ever read Psalms 91? Where it says, when you dash thy foot against a stone, the angels will bear thee up. That's what the Lord is going to do. Yahweh is going to do for his elect. Okay, when you fear the Lord is going to take care of you. He's going to give you the wisdom. He's going to give you the understanding and the knowledge, and he's going to give you his name. And every brother has that blessing of knowing the Lord's name. Meanwhile, the whole world will know who the Lord is. Okay? His real name is Yahweh, which means exists. And his only God's son name is Yahweh, which means he's going to deliver only the Israelites.
I got a precept for you. This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 15 and verse 1. And it says, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord. Cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. Right? So all of the prophecies that are written in the Bible, right? We can go back through history and see how they've actually happened. Right? So the things that are written to be prophesied to come to pass, now in these times, we're supposed to be taking heed of these things, right? So we can prepare ourselves, right, Lord willing, to be delivered from the destruction of this place, you know?
Right. That's how we can prove the validity of the scriptures. Things that was written over 2,000 years ago is happening as of right now, according to Exodus. Because you got people now, they're afraid. They don't know what next year holds. They don't know what the year after that holds. But really, it's all in the scriptures. We understand those secrets. And just like Noah was building that ark, when you read the Bible, back then there was no rain. All there was like a wet dew that came upon the earth. Kind of like when you wake up in the morning and you go out there, the grass is wet, your car all fogged up, but there was no rain. So Noah was commanded to build an ark for some rain that was going to come. He never seen it. Nobody ever seen it. But because of the fear of the Lord, he believed that times are coming, I'm going to prepare this ark for protection. We're doing the same thing. All that happened for us to follow in the example. We're building the spiritual ark right now, which is our faith. You got that?
Yeah.
17, 19, and 17.
All right, this is the fear of the Lord. All right, this is out of the book of the Apocrypha, Ecclesiastes, chapter 19 and verse 18. Reads, the fear of the Lord is the first step to be accepted of him, and wisdom obtaineth his love. Verse 19, the knowledge of the commandments of the Lord is the doctrine of life. They that do things that please him shall receive the fruit of the tree of immortality. The fear of the Lord is all wisdom, and in all wisdom is the performance of the law and the knowledge of his omnipotence. Okay, so your first step in coming to know the Lord is that you have to fear the Lord. Okay, once you fear the Lord, which is really in faith and in love, then the knowledge and understanding of the wisdom of the book, the Lord will give it to you. Okay. Let's see, what else can you get from this? Because we also have the book of the law, okay, which is the Lord's book of how the Israelites, that's who we are supposed to live. But the first step is to have the fear of the Lord. Get that? Go ahead.
That fear would drive you, just like you fear what your father would do if you go against what he tells you. Just say he say, I want you home, then you say, I want you to do water shoes, like, come out. But you out with your friends, and you're like, you can go down to the arcade or something. Like, I can't do it because it's too late. And they were like, oh, what's the big deal? It's like, well, I'm sure what my father would say, and what he would do if I don't obey it. That's the same with the Lord. He wants to enforce first, because fear of you will do what he says. And now, what he asks for us isn't much. All person he asks for us to repent, because literally, you know, let's just say you start reading about it, you find out you're doing all the other things, and we like the Bible. All you
brother had mentioned just a little while ago, talked about Christians, right? So if we go to the book of Acts, let's go to the first verse, Acts 11 and 1, and it reads, and the apostles and the brethren that were in Judea heard that the Gentiles had also received the word of the Most High. When Peter was come up to Jerusalem, they that were of the circumcision contended with him, saying, thou wentest into men uncircumcised, and didst eat with them. And Peter entered, so I rehearsed the matter from the beginning and expounded it by order unto them, saying, let me jump down. I'm going to go to verse 19. Now they that were scattered abroad, because this is how we got all these different names. We call Negroes, we call Hispanics, we call all these different names, because the Israelites were scattered all across the world. Now they that were scattered abroad upon the persecution that arose about Stephen, travailing as far as Phoenix and Cyprus and Antioch, preaching the word to none but unto the Jews only. So that's one section, unto the Jews. And some of them were men of Cyprus and Cyrene, which when they were come to Antioch, spake unto the Grecians, which he's a scattered Israelite, all right, preaching the Lord Yahushua. And the hand of the Lord was with them, and a great number believed and turned unto the Lord. And that's what we're talking about, our repentance and turning backwards to His word. Okay. Jump down to verse 26, which is really the point. And when he had found them, talking about the Israelites, he brought them unto Antioch, and it came to pass in a whole year they assembled themselves in the church and taught many people, and the disciples were called Christians first at Antioch. So we are the real Christians. You hear about people talking about Christians, brother Vincent, people that we see today in the church of people, because they're not following the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. They have to repent fully. So the real Christians are the Christians.
Jeremiah chapter 3, verse 13. Only acknowledge thy iniquity, that thou hast transgressed against Yahweh, thy power, and hast scattered thy ways to the strangers under every green tree, and ye have not obeyed my voice, saith Yahweh.
The Lord said, only acknowledge thine iniquity, that you went off transgressing against see how people are stiff-hearted. Because, yeah, repentance is a part of it, but then you got to walk the best way possible. Then you start to do the things that he likes and that he doesn't like. Because you will read, let's say, something small like the dietary law. We always we have clean meats and unclean meats. You only eat the clean. You're not supposed to stay. You're not supposed to touch the unclean. So pork is like the biggest one. So once you realize that, you say, you know what? Forgive me, Lord. I didn't know there was unclean. I'm not going to eat pork. The Lord said, I'm not supposed to. That's an Israelite. That's how you take steps towards him, and he sees that. That's how good you're doing it with faith, and because you got that fear. Whereas your Christian buddy would be like, oh man, he can eat it, it don't matter, the Lord died for us, embrace him. Yeah. Be like, no, look, the Lord said don't, so that's something I can control, I'm not gonna mess with it. So simple. Adultery, which is dealing with a woman that's married and has no friends. I know in our culture, in rap culture, it's an accomplishment to take somebody else's girl or to send somebody else's girl. Really, the Lord says that's evil. It's adultery. So we walk on the chick, in the game talking to him. Oh, I got a man. You think about the law, you think about the Heavenly Father. I'm not going to do it because the Lord said, like that. All right, thank you. Sorry, I'll see that. I'll go find somebody who don't got your man. Little steps like that. That's how the Lord acts with us, you know? And then eventually the Lord going to come and save us. We'll be in the kingdom with the law. But you see, most Jake, just like you taking the time to listen to most Jake, hypocrites, especially the Christian, they don't want to hear it because they don't want to be accountable for nothing. I'm like, look, man, I just want to live my life, eat what I want to eat, do what I want to do, and be justified. But the Lord said, no. Okay, this book wouldn't be this thick if that's all life was about. You know, it's about law, statutes, and commandments. stories that you learn from, how to build your integrity, okay, how to be brotherly, how to be a better human being as an Israelite. And it requires you to put in some effort. It requires you to put in some work. Yeah. He ain't just have us out here to just live like a heathen. Heathen just do whatever he wants. I can do whatever he wants. God don't control me. That's no fear of the Lord. The fear of the Lord is, I'm going to live according to him, which is righteousness, and then I can be exalted by doing it.
Yeah, this is 2nd Ezra 7, right? 2nd Ezra chapter 7 and verse 20. It says, "For there be many that perish in this life, because they despise the law of Yahweh that is set before them. For God Yahweh has given straight commandments to such as came, that they should do to live even as they came, and what they should observe to avoid punishment." Yeah, so these laws, statutes, and commandments written in the scriptures, you know, you should do them to avoid punishment, because if not, you know, as the scripture said before that, and he said unto me, there is no judge above God Yahweh, and none have understanding above the highest. So if you're not abiding by these laws, statutes, and commandments that's written in this Bible, when he judge you, you know, you're going to be destroyed. You know what I mean?
Okay. Be safe.
Talking about it, being a part of the church, it requires some action. It requires you to be accountable. You can't live like a hypocrite, like a hypocritical Christian. They're all hypocrites. They're all hypocrites, right? So that's why people are leaving this, because they don't believe that they should be accountable for anything. They actually don't study the scriptures at all. They go to church, and the Lord healed the blood. All right, let's get that choir going. Get that money going around.
Let's get that praise break.
Yeah, let's get that praise break.
In the basement, ready.
Get all that going. They don't talk about fear of the Lord. They don't talk about prophecy. They don't talk about prophecy.
It's all right. He know my heart.
Yeah, he does.
He know my heart.
It's still with our people. You got old rum bottles that's really stuck in it. And it's typically your grandfather and your grandmother. Typically. Because they ain't heard nothing else. They see that they at the end of their rope. What they believe is that, okay?
Mommy, daddy, brothers, sisters.
They got the nerve to tell you, oh, I've been in church since I was a baby. What you know about it? I know if you don't abide by them laws, statutes, and commandments, you're going to get a hole between your two back pockets. Okay? Yahweh Shem Yahshua going to destroy you. Okay? Yeah, and plus them older jakes don't even know, because the book was closed. Okay? Pursuant to Luke 16 chapter. Okay?
Now it's loose. We got the understanding.
This is the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 11, and verse 1. Be ye followers of me, even as I also am of Mashiach. Now I pray you, brethren, that you remember me in all things, and keep the ordinance as I delivered them to you. But I will have you know that the head of every man is Mashiach, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of Mashiach is Yahweh. Every man praying or prophesying having his head covered dishonoreth his head. But every woman that prayeth or prophesies with her head uncovered dishonoreth her head. For that is even all one as if she were shaven. For if the woman be not covered, let her also be shorn. But if it be a shame for a woman to be shorn, or shame for a woman to be shorn or shaven, let her be covered. For a man indeed ought not to cover his head, for as much as he is the image and glory of Yahweh. But the woman is the glory of the man. For the man is not of the woman, but the woman of the man. Neither was the man created for the woman, but the woman for the man.
See, that's so the Lord talked about, Paul talked about order also in the church, which also goes to planet Earth. Bottom is children, then woman, man, outside, especially in the church. So it even talks about the order dealing with gender. Right? So that's why a woman, especially if she's married, typically is supposed to cover it up and have her hair covered. Have some type of hair covered. You know, when you got a lot of hair. You got a husband, it's like you honor him, right? And even the man. So there's an order, because we talked about it earlier, how you have the whole gender war that's all done thanks to the wicked elite. That pride is part of the challenges when we come out here and deal with our people. We also got to deal with men who are in the heaven spirit. Some of them are just simps, some of them are just mama's boys, right? And some of them bold. And then you got the women who may want to come up here with, you know, revealing clothes and all that other stuff, and they want to try to tell us. You know, we've had women preachers that's going off. Okay, we had one woman preacher that said that Paul wasn't word at the time of First Corinthians. He said about how a woman was. That's completely out of order. Okay, so there's order in the church. The order is a woman is to keep silent. If she asks anything, she asks her husband that. But what if I don't have a husband? Well, watch the videos. There's still shalom to the sister Aqua out there. It's been paid, but there's order. Hey, you see what goes on in these other camps? All that drama and all that other shit? You know, a lot of it is because there's no order back there. They got women doing this and all that. You ain't get into no drama or anything, did you? No, you learned it at home. That's how it's supposed to be. My husband don't believe, but watch the videos. That's all I can say. That's how you learn.
Exalted her because she kept her integrity and didn't do what she was supposed to do.
Yeah, and we got that story as an example. What if her husband is a no good nothing? Well, saw what King David and Nabal did. The wife was righteous, Nabal was wicked. The Lord took out Nabal and gave her to a righteous man. So what do we say? That the Lord deal with that. All she got to do is continually to play her role. That's all she got to do. But that's what we teach, right? Because the Lord will make a way. Because those are, you know, that's a hard thing to try to come in between that. Whereas you look at the Christian church, Pastor, I need to understand. I think me and you need a private session. And the husband don't know nothing about it. Right? And you already know what goes on behind the door.
You know, these guys get in that position and they abuse it, man, because you know, for the most part, Jakes be you know, curious about the spirituality and the knowledge of the Heavenly Father. And so these guys always try to incorporate their own lust into it, man. You know, every time, man. The Christian church is full of just lust-driven doctrines, man. Prayer, period.
Just all the way up. So even the scriptures talk about the order of that. Because you might say, okay, well, what about my woman? Well, does she believe? Yeah. So you read the scriptures. Okay, but read the scriptures.
Special Thompson, how y'all doing? He's my ops. Big brother.
Verse First Corinthians chapter 11. For this cause ought the woman to have power on her head because of the angels. Nevertheless, neither is the man without the woman, neither the woman without the man in the Lord. For as the woman is of the man, even so is the man also by the woman, but all things of Yahweh. Judge in yourselves it is comely that a woman pray unto Yahweh uncovered. Doth not even nature itself teach you that if a man have long hair, it is a shame unto him? But if a woman have long hair, it is a glory to her.
Because you got men out there who want to have the long hair. But when we say long hair, we mean past shoulders, dreads hanging on your back, and all that other stuff. It's basically a feminine. But you got Jake that got a problem with that. Right? I should be able to have long hair. According to the scripture, that's a feminine man. That's for a woman.
And also, that's also a benefit told because when you go to war, the first thing they're going to go for is your hair.
I play the house shot. I play the house shot before anything. So if I would be stuck outside, I'm still gonna be stuck inside.
Yeah, man, that's what the Lord said, that it's a shame for a man to have long hair. Because even
remember I told you about the chariots?
they can pull your damn hair and just chop the
Chariots
head
and
off.
archangels. It's gonna suck us up in the end. Like right now, I ain't supposed to have kids, so I don't got no dress. My mom kicked me out the house, so I had to put. I bought a shirt so I can make sure I have fringes.
Just look at Jonathan.
Like at the end, you gonna see how they got the fringes on the clothes. If you don't have this one, God is not gonna save you because He's not gonna know you're a stranger.
Got stuck in that disease.
But do you see your neighbor here?
Individual.
Verse 15, but if a woman have long hair, it is a glory to her, for her hair is given her for a covering. But if any man seem to be contentious, we have no such custom, neither the churches of Yahweh. Now in this that I declare unto you, I praise you not that you come together not for the better, but for the worse. For first of all, when you come together in the church, I hear that there be division among you, and I partly believe it. For there must be also heresies among you, that they which are may be made manifest among you.
Right.
Shalom, brothers. Are you ready to go?
Talk about it. It's clear. Obviously, she was obviously she's saying the Church of Corinthians had a lot of issues going on. That's why Paul was there to establish the order. There was always divisions. You had different beliefs, different doctrines, things like that. You know what I'm saying? Because the question always comes up. In fact, it came up again with the whole IUIC thing going on. Another brother had did a video, which he's not a part of KMS, but you don't really know what's up with that brother because he lined up. He ran on while he teaches. No one knows that. But as soon as you go to the comment section, Jake saying, well, if we find the scriptures, why can't we all get one? Because there's order in the church. You heard how we just read about the woman thing, right? You got sensitive Israelites out there that got a problem with the fact that my wife got something to say. Get her whole herd of mic. And he'll on her penis, right? Why can't the women teach, etc., etc.? Because we apply the scripture. It's out of order. So there's always going to be divisions and heresies among us. But we're telling you that's the reason why. That question always comes up, especially if you're new. What's the big deal? Why can't we come together? But our problem is we don't unify. And listen, if that's what the scripture said, then that's what we can do. What the scripture says is we got to say the same thing.
Prime example, today, I see how you look at see what happened.
That was all out of pride. You ain't gonna punk me. We ain't gonna punk me.
Yeah, like when you listened to the altercation. It was all like, yeah, y'all niggas had a tranny lover, yeah. Something about tranny. Yeah, like the dude, like, to be honest, I don't know if he knew it was a tranny or not, but you know, I did a video on it a few years back. But yeah, he ended up smoking the tranny because the woman that he thought he was dealing with turned out to be a tranny, so he ended up killing her.
And when something like that happens, it don't necessarily reflect the whole camp, especially with how big they are.
Right? Yeah, cause that could have happened to anybody. Like he just happened to be an Israelite. You know, which we all Israelites, whether you a nigga on the street, block, whatever, or whatever camp. You know, and shit, God forbid that they don't happen, shit. Cause you know, you must have been wicked. It won't allow you to pop a man.
That's why it's supposed to apply to scripture now. That whole fight shouldn't happen, and the cop shouldn't even get called. It should have just, I know some call. There's only 3 days. Y'all go down. Y'all can go y'all separate ways.
Boxing for a couple extra minutes after that.
They run out of energy.
Like, man, we ain't no cowards.
Shit on your honor.
The problem with carnal, Jake, they don't realize you are in the flesh, and the flesh is weak. The average fight only lasts 3 fights. A lot of Jakes ain't really built to go that round. They're not that built. They got 4 or 5 good punches in them, and then it's so that's why it's stupid. All they should have did after they held each other back was said, look, we're gonna go our way. That would have been the end of it. They had to call it pop, but that just got to show you that Jake ain't really applying. It's an embarrassment. Okay, it looks bad on the ministry, but it mainly looks bad on both of them. Okay, because they both going off. Ain't neither one of them coming to name Yahweh Yahushua. They don't even say the name. So they just basically out there on the hill.
Oh, but generous.
Like 1 and 10, it reads, "Now I beseech you, brethren, by the name of our Lord Yahushua Mashiach, that ye all speak the same thing, and that there be no division among you, that ye be perfectly joined together in the same mind and in the same judgment."
So that means we have to believe the same thing, right? So if we teach that the mark of the beast is the art by the microchip, and you teach that the mark of the beast is Christianity, we're not gonna be able to come together. There ain't gotta be no people gonna say, well, this not gonna work out. Why they gonna work out? Because we just read the scripture. But can we just put that to the side and hold the line? So okay, let's say if we did that, but then I'm teaching next to an IUIC member, we holding the line, right? Here comes a Jake. Yeah, y'all feel y'all brothers. So what's that mark of the beast I heard about? What's gonna happen? It's gonna be confusion. It's gonna be a 50% chance that he's gonna get the correct breakout. Depending on who's speaking. And then, am I gonna put 3 seconds for him to back up what he's saying? That don't make no sense.
Yeah, like you gonna teach the C hip or the MOTB is the C hip, right? And then, then this nigga he gonna pull him over to the side. You see, brother, it's really not that. We don't really know what it is. Like, nah, man, that's gonna cause confusion.
Then if we tell them, like, well, look, we're not going to address that right now. We don't agree. They're going to say, well, so you got to split that way, because they can split that way. But, you know, the first one, some way, somehow. Yeah, so that's confusion. And if we used to tell them, like, look, we can't talk about that right now, we don't agree with that, that means he ain't getting edified. And 2, they going to be like, oh, y'all need to be on the same accord before y'all come to the street. The scripture says, how can 2 walk with something be agreed? Oh, you got it? Yeah.
This is Amos chapter 3 and verse 3. Can two walk together except they be agreed?
We have to be agreed, right? But still to this day, you got Jake that don't like them. They don't believe in them. Y'all supposed to come together. We just read the scripture wise. And this is our stance. And we ain't carnal about it or anything. We just say, look, we can't walk together because it's not. And it's not just that one difference, by the way, with these other Israelites. It's not just that one difference. Because the first thing we got to do is we got to deal with the scripture. So, like, let's say if IUIC did come up and say, we want to talk about the reason with the scriptures. Okay, good. First things first, what's the name of the Lord? Why you in teacher? What's the big man? Wrong. The scripture says about these. We're just going to be a shouting fest. And we don't get no. That's why we just don't walk up to them. Church, y'all, the same thing, right? But every Jake has their own belief. Jake say, dog, you gotta come together, right? And then y'all gotta work out y'all differences. Well, let me ask you something. You had these unity camps with these other Israelite groups going on for a long time. Who has yet to change their doctrine? I don't see it happening. Sakari and HOY been in unity camps for a while. Does HOY teach the mark of the beast as a chip yet? Nope. So where's the fruit of that? To say, well, I think if y'all just came together, eventually y'all work all that out. But guess what? They've been doing unity camps for a minute. Who has changed? Have they become one big group and say, yeah, we understand now that the mark of the beast is a chip? Or if Sakari should say, we understand that the mark of the beast is, super white man or something. It never happened. They still believe in what they believe, and it's still out of order. It still don't make no sense. So for you to say that, you're just speaking off emotion. Okay.
Back in 1 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 20. When you come together, therefore, into one place, this is not to eat the Lord's Supper. For in eating, everyone taketh before other his own supper, and one is hungry, and other is drunken. What have ye not house to eat and to drink in, or despise ye the church of your house, and shame them that have not? What shall I say to you? Shall I praise you in this? I praise you not.
Acting like a bunch of grimy Negroes. Okay? Where it is y'all come from the past and everybody just scrambling to get their plate first. And y'all just too bad for him. I got me a plate. Here it is, this guy don't got no plate. Right? And this guy's drunk. I got a whole bottle. Yeah, I got a whole bottle. So, everybody got their cup, he got the bottle. And he's just drunk. Paul said, y'all want to eat and drink like y'all hungry and thirsty or some shit. Don't you got homes for that? So when y'all come together, it's supposed to be some order. This is assembly here. When you read about the Passover, you're supposed to take according to the measure of your house. So you may have one lamb, or just a small house. You got a big family, you ain't gonna get two lambs. So you got to make sure everybody get a good portion. But at that time, niggas was just acting like niggas greedy. I got to get first in line. Shoot. But you at the end of the line, you didn't get no lamb. Sorry. That's out of order. It's out of order. Talk about how we're supposed to assemble ourselves. And guess what? We come together for peace. And we apply what the scripture says. There's order. We got elders, the elders keep first. And everybody else. This is what the Lord looking at. This is what he's looking for when he looks down. This is what you keep it on there. The Lord doesn't care about the Cardinals winning baseball game. He doesn't care about the Cardinals winning the World Series. He's not pleased with Mayweather going 50-0. He's not excited about the Olympic game. When he looked down here, he's looking to see, is my word being taught? Is brotherly love and charity being abound? And is my temple and my church